Hello from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We're here for day 2 of round 1 of the 2019 America's Rallycross Championship. My name's Andrew Cole. This is Bucky Lasek. Bucky, day 2. I'm looking forward to it. Yesterday was good.
Yeah, it was great, actually. A lot of action, a lot of passing, and
bit of turn 1 carnage.
Some fast times. Actually, watching practice today, they've actually turned it up a little bit.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's looking a little bit quicker today. Scott Speed's car was fully repaired. He did one slow lap, didn't he, before he headed out for a couple of quick ones?
Yeah, a little reconnaissance lap, make sure everything's kind of tucked in to where it should be and all aligned.
Ah, perfect. Well, it's looking good. Track's looking good as well. This, as I say, is Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course just behind us here. Lovely long straight down there. Brand new Rallycross track is over here. It's round 1, and this is where we're headed this year. So the first round, Cooper Tires ARX of Mid-Ohio this weekend. Then it's Gateway Park in Illinois for a double header for both ARX and ARX2. Up to Trois-Rivières in Quebec alongside the FIA World Rallycross Championship, the famous street circuit. ARX of COTA then Circuit the Americas, Austin, Texas are the 2 tracks, which the drivers know from last year, back to back. And then we're heading down to finish the season in Mid-Ohio, back here again. Good stuff. So it's windy, it's kind of cloudy. Bucky, there was a chance of some thunderstorms later on today. We don't really want a thunderstorm because over here in America we have to evacuate the venue potentially. But we wouldn't mind a bit of rain though, would we?
A little drizzle would be nice just to calm the dust down a little bit so the guys could see.
Okay, nice. Cool. Well, we'll see what the weather does during the course of the day. Either way, I think the action is going to be pretty good. Yesterday's action was fantastic. If you missed it, take a look at this. This is a Q1 and 2 review. Scott Speed and Tanner Faust were up in the very first race of the day. Last year's P1 and P2 in the championship, getting stuck into it in the very first corner. Faust into the side of Speed, but it was Speed who got the whole shot with Pecoy running wide. The Subaru was looking fantastic. Tanner Faust went from early Joker lap around the outside. Fantastic long tarmac Joker here. Scott Speed, meanwhile, was hammering in the lap times. Good to see the Subaru fast off the line and fast around the lap as well. This was the merge later in the race. Faust coming in P2, Pecoy in the dust in P3. It was Speed who took the first checker of the day. On to race 2 and another fast-starting Subaru, but not into turn 1 ahead of Arpin. Arpin with the Focus engined Fiesta. A little bit of contact in the background between Atkinson and Sandell. Sandell coming off worse. Atkinson looking for a gap. Cabot Bigham ending up dropping back to the back of the pack as the dust flew again. This was one mistake by Steve Arpin. Other than that, it was a pretty good run by him. He almost as fast as Speed. Speed versus Bigham on the run up to the first corner in Q2, and disaster ended up into the wall on the inside. Bigham around there, Sandell. Bigham around the outside. Speed had his own problems, as you'll see in a moment. Bigham clipping the tyres later on in the race, spinning the Beetle off. Pecoy managing to avoid him, hold on to take the win. Now here was the issue for Speed. On the inside, look, contact between him, Arpin and Faust and Bucky. That was a huge impact. Huge impact.
Took out the whole rear of the car of Speed. He did not continue. He had a DNF there.
Yeah, we could see there, wheel with drive shaft hanging off and Speed, not happy about it.
No, that was devastating.
So Speed losing out in terms of qualifying points. This was Tanner Faust out on his own in the Beetle, but Bucky, he was pretty wild, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was hanging it out there. You could see he was a little bit on the outside in the marbles. Not the fastest line, but he has proven that he has the speed.
They've got overnight to fix it. For us, with Rockstar and Andretti and Volkswagen R, it's great to come out day 1 on top.
Well, obviously you guys have still got it, so thank you.
Well, Tanner Faust in the overnight TQ, Scott Speed in P2 with that DNF in Q2, Atkinson, Arpin, Pecoy, Bigham and Sandell. Well, apologies there, we had a couple of little technicals during the Q1 and 2 review. I'm sure we'll be able to see that later on again today, but we didn't have as many technicals as Scott Speed had. I mean, that was actually, it was a huge amount of damage on that car, Bucky. We went and saw the guys at Subaru Motorsport USA. Late night?
Yeah, very late night. I think the guys were up till like 1 or 3, putting the car back together. Sandell's car needed a little bit of work in the front end. They killed it, though. It's back together. It's setting fast practice times this morning.
Atco was in P3. No work to do on Atco's car. He was very happy in the press conference last night. So all 3 of the Subarus doing very well. So this might be of interest. ARX2, brand new day for these guys. They had round one yesterday. We saw some fantastic racing right the way through to the final. A lot of it involving the man on the inside here, Fraser McConnell. But this is a full reset for them. So they have 3 qualifying sessions, semi-finals and a final each day. So lots and lots of racing for the most of these guys are youngsters, guys and girls in fact, because Gray Ledbetter on the outside here is our youngest competitor at 14 years old. Age limit lowered this year in ARX2. They've also got a mentorship program where all of these guys are working with a supercar driver. So fantastic, fantastic series to be involved with, and we're hearing a lot of people are interested to come and join the grid later on in the season. Look forward to seeing who they might be. Let's take a look at the lineup for race 1 of round 2. Fraser McConnell, JR Hildebrand and Gray Ledbetter. So it's a random draw for Q1. McConnell on the inside of Hildebrand and Ledbetter, and Bucky, mixed fortunes for these guys yesterday.
Yeah, mixed fortunes for sure. Ledbetter kind of figuring things out. McConnell got into a little mix-up, had a DNF, and JR is just trying to squeeze himself in the middle here, trying to fit in the car.
Yeah, you were saying he's pretty tall, isn't he? It's quite a tight fit for him.
Great start.
Yeah, good start. Another fantastic start from Fraser, but JR getting away well there too. Hildebrand dropping in. See what the track conditions are like this morning. It's looking pretty dusty still. You can see that they've wetted the track with some of the dust X to try and keep that down. Fraser threw that long right-hander, and JR up underneath. So I wonder if JR might follow Fraser here, Bucky.
I think he will. I think he'll kind of... Fraser is the fastest right now, so JR is probably going to pick his rear bumper off and just try to keep him in view.
In the background, Ledbetter as well will want to hang on to these guys.
Look at the input there on the front.
Yeah. Looks like they've done some track repairs, though. Do you remember yesterday there was a big dip, wasn't it? Almost like a rally cut, you know, on the inside of that tyre bale on the left-hander.
That definitely got the biggest ruts in it, that section of the track. But what I noticed right here after turn 1, I was kind of surprised to see the pothole that Fraser collected right here somewhere.
Yeah, you can see the front bumper
right
continuing
there.
Through. Yeah. It's pretty even though across the circuit, isn't it? It's not so much of a hole as more of a kind of a dip. But Hildebrand's doing well here, going with Fraser.
He's hanging right in there on him. Let's see if he takes the Joker here.
He does. Okay, so Hildebrand's feeling quick then. Hildebrand is feeling racy enough to take the Joker. We saw yesterday some interesting lines around here, and I'd say Hildebrand there a little bit more like Sage Karam yesterday, taking that slightly tighter line, not running the car quite so wide.
Yeah, I was talking to JR after the races yesterday, and we went over some driving techniques, and I was quite surprised. I think he was out there just having fun, hanging it out there. So as you can see now, he's tightened it up, and he's ready to click off some times.
Hildebrand hoping that when Fraser McConnell goes, he might get the overlap on him. And McConnell yesterday was absolutely the pace setter. Hildebrand, to me, is really close behind Bucky, considering he took the Joker on the last lap.
Yeah, I think he's close enough to have an interesting merge.
So do I. McConnell, I think, will have to Joker this lap. If his spotters are on it, they'll know that Hildebrand is on a bit of a flyer here, and he does. McConnell goes Joker. Here we go then. McConnell around the outside on the tarmac. Look for Hildebrand on the inside. He's got to get that dirt corner right. We know the Joker is pretty smooth and fast around the outside, and McConnell's done enough. So potentially there, that's the difference between the tarmac and the gravel driving experience, isn't it? But it's certainly, the Joker's looking pretty close to the time of the standard lap.
Yeah, JR had a big push there under braking. Lost a little bit of a gap there. See if we can reel him back in. Make it interesting. One more lap to go.
Nice to see Hildebrand on the pace today. Not far off it yesterday, but it didn't seem quite as comfortable in the car as Sage was.
See if we can watch some hands here.
Yeah, you see, that's Fraser with that fantastic, just chucking it style.
Flicked it, kept the steering wheel straight through the turn, got a good exit, power down.
Yeah, nicely done. Around the long left, the Jamaican driver keeping it smooth. This is that tricky right-hander, Bucky, and again, for people who weren't watching yesterday, it's really off camber, isn't it?
It's off camber. It wants to slide you to the outside into the merging Joker. Oncoming traffic. Look at how bumpy it's getting here. The cars do not like attitude when it gets bumpy like that. You got to keep them as straight as possible.
You can see the dust hanging in the air as well down that back straight. Fraser on the brakes into the last 2 corners. He's going to take the checker flag and give us our target time for race 2. 3:40.9. And of course, race 2 is going to feature the guy who won yesterday, Alex Keys, along with a whole bunch of quick drivers. In fact, the entire of yesterday's podium is in the next race. Here's the result of race 1. Fraser McConnell taking it from J.R. Hildebrand and Gray Ledbetter. Ending up with a gap of, what, about 1.5 seconds, 2.5 seconds. So there's another look at the start. McConnell getting away very well, which he has done. And there's a trick to getting away in these cars. And again, that's where Fraser is benefiting, isn't he, from time in the car this year.
Yeah, he's got the seat time. He's run 2 seasons in this car. And he's quite comfortable with it. As you can see, his driving style is amazing.
Absolutely. Hildebrand with a great joker, and then really closed up here in particular on the lap before that McConnell took his joker. They were looking close in terms of the merge. But Fraser got it, and he held on all the way to the flag. So service resumed for Fraser McConnell. You know, yesterday was super quick, wasn't he? Yep. He was really disappointed at the end of the day. He got that penalty for the contact with Sage Karam in semi-1, and then he broke the steering in the final. Like, full reset for him today.
Yeah, it was very competitive racing. There was no giving any room.
Nah.
They were just attacking, and unfortunately, Fraser did get taken out. And
yeah.
There was a lot of switching back and forth, a lot of over-unders. So it was pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, it was good, to be fair. Sage Karam was really, really good in it yesterday, making the move from single-seaters to Rallycross, and that fantastic fight with Fraser. And I say Fraser, unfortunately, on the last corner, broke his steering in the final, so he ended up with a DNF. But a better day today in prospect for Fraser McConnell, and James is with him now.
Fraz, obviously you didn't end the final yesterday how you wanted, but you've come out here and started the day off right. You've got a Q1 win. How does that feel? Do you think that's a good voting for the day?
Yeah, it's a good start to the day, but we're still not happy with the car. It wasn't really doing what we really wanted to, so we're going to go back and make some changes and be really fast for the next round.
Is it some of the tarmac stuff or the dirt stuff that you're looking for the setup on?
More.
Great, thanks, Fraz. Good luck the rest of the day.
To make some changes to that car.
He is all game face, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, grid is lined up and good to go on this one. So the entire podium from yesterday's round 1 is in this race, so we'll be able to take a look in a second. Spotters, you could see up on the spotters tower at the back of the grandstand. Alex Keys, Cole Keats, Sage Karam and Brad DeBerti. Yesterday it was Keys who won, Karam was P2 and Brad DeBerti was P3. Karam and DeBerti on their Rallycross debuts yesterday. Cole Keats, of course, with a lot of seat time in these machines. This could be a final. This is a great lineup. Here we go.
Spotter should remind these guys they got a couple more races to go today.
Yeah, don't go too mad in the first corner. We did see some carnage yesterday. Good start by Keats and Keys on the inside.
4 wide.
Karam is going to slot in behind, I think. Sensible. They all know now, don't they, Bucker? They figured out turn 1 yesterday. A lot of people tried around the outside. It's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen, especially with the track the way it is right now. These cars are very evenly paced, momentum-driven cars. You can try a move, but it might set you back a car length.
Karam goes joker. I was fully expecting that. He looked at him through here. He's so good, isn't he? We saw him make a pass in here yesterday up the inside, didn't we, into the merge. Maybe actually running slightly wider around the bail than he would have liked to have done. Keys coming under a little bit of pressure from Keats. And now these guys, Bucky, have got to make a decision based on Karam, haven't they? Although they're racing the clock, obviously if Karam gets ahead, he's ahead of them in the standings. We know they get a faster time. So, yeah, they've either got to respond on the next lap or get the hammer down for a few to try to gap him.
Sage is reeling him in, and he's already done the joker.
Sage is right there on the back of the pair of them. What would you do if you were the spotter for either of these guys?
Well, Keats needs to peel off because it looks like Keats is being held up by Keys a little bit there.
And he's also the driver, of course. He's in the most danger, isn't he, from behind. So will Cole Keats go, and will he get back out in front of Karam? I think he'll go this lap. He does. So here we go. Keats into the joker. Watch for Sage Karam on the inside. Keats,
went wide.
He's in hard, isn't he?
A little too wide there. I think that's going to cost them.
Well, it's going to be a close merge. Keats into the side of Karam, almost just about missing each other. Nicely done between those two drivers there to get away with that merge at that speed. Keats was super quick. I thought he'd gone too wide, but actually was pretty fast through the joke,
beautiful.
wasn't
That was beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to talk to Keats about that one. He's going to be hyped.
he? Pulled it in really tight on the exit bail, didn't he? So maybe that wider, faster line in, he's still managed to find enough grip to get the nose turned in. Those two need to get after it and chase Keys down. Alex Keys out front was all smiles yesterday after his win, really happy.
I wonder what's going on with the birdie in the back there.
Yeah, slightly off the pace of the guys in front. He was so pleased to get a podium yesterday, really was. Great to have him along in Rallycross. Him and his family were in the press conference. He goes off to the Joker now. They were taking photos and stuff, and he was all smiles. You know, to get a podium on your first outing in any championship, Buck, is really good. DeBerti comes through now. He's actually going to get them both.
So there we go. He answered my question.
Yeah. So DeBerti taking the Joker on this lap and getting in front of both Keats and Karam. That is fantastic. He needs to not leave the door open here. Keats is going to look up the inside on the brakes. DeBerti goes defensive on the run down the hill. Or Keats is going to go super late on the brakes, and he does get up the inside. Karam looking to undercut him as well. Oh, Karam's alongside him on the run into the last corner. Oh, Karam into the side of Keats. That was a hard move. Karam's going to lose out now.
How did that car not break?
And how did I get confused between DeBerti and Keats? I completely and utterly got confused there. I'm afraid. Yeah, no, that's my bad. My bad. So Keys in P2, Keats out front. Great racing from these guys.
You can see how aggressive. You can see how aggressive the car is moving around, twitching left, twitching right, trying to find some speed, trying to find a gap, trying to get in the mirrors of Keys. Whatever it takes here. I don't think Keys can see him.
Target time is McConnell's 3:40.9, as you can see at the bottom right of your screen. Keats with that contact would have cost him a little bit of time, but I think these guys are looking pretty fast. Fraser wasn't happy with the setup on the car, but I think he will be happy with the result because McConnell's going to take this. Race 2 isn't fast enough. Keats takes it, but he's slower than McConnell was. And in fact, Hildebrand with a 43.5 in the previous race is going to be P2 in this. That's a great result for J.R. Hildebrand. Keats takes this one from Keys and Karam. Brad DeBerti, who I mistakenly thought had taken the lead in the middle of the race. It's been a long weekend.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty tired now. But yeah, Keats takes it from Keys, Karam and DeBerti. And that's where they slot in. So that is a brilliant result for J.R. Hildebrand in P2. Take a look back at the action from the second race. Very sensible in turn one, Bucky. Yeah, we did see a lot of carnage in here yesterday, and I think the driver's taken a much more measured approach this morning.
Yeah, they were wise. I think the spotters probably did get on the phones and tell these guys, like, you got a long day ahead of you. Let's keep the car clean on the first race.
Keep it sensible. That was Keats merging with Karam. Keats, we thought, had gone in a little bit hot, but it was a good move by him. DeBerti off the back of the pack. Then I got confused and thought DeBerti had Joker to the lead, which is very stupid of me. There you go. Don't always get it, actually rarely get it right, but it's all good. Alex Keys managing to get into the lead, but then leaving a little bit of a gap. Keats getting up the inside. So Karam then was on the inside as well of Keys. We didn't see it, but there was a little bit of contact at that last corner on the previous lap. It's a good race, I think, Bucky, between them there, you know, and showing we're going to be in for some decent racing later. Interesting to see Hildebrand is on the pace as well. So that's a big step up for JR compared to yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. The guy is so talented. He's been a wheelman forever. So just to be able to kind of get in the car and learn the style, he's got the pace.
Sure.
So I think we're going to see a good finish from JR today.
Looking forward to seeing what J.R. Hildebrand and Fraser McConnell can do with these guys. Going to be seeing them all together in the next one. And James is with our winner now.
Go ahead.
Cole, that was a battle out there. I watched that Joker merge. That looked a little sketchy. How did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely chaos out there every single time. I mean, you put your three fast guys in the first heat. So Q1, I mean, it's okay. I think P2, P3, but hey, I'll take it. Please know that we're getting fight. So I'm excited. Squad's running really good. They're a good car, so looking forward to the final one.
Is that Joker merge, that felt okay? I mean, like, is that a strategy for the rest of the time? You felt safe with that?
Yeah, it's a little tight, I'll say that. I mean, we just got to keep focusing, hit our own marks, and see, hope for the best. But Joker merge is really tight, I'll say that.
Great. great. Thanks, Cole. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, sorry guys, we may have a technical issue with our microphone down there. We've had a couple of quiet spots there. I say it's very, very windy here today as well, so adjustments being made, and we will make sure everything is just how you need it for the rest of the day. Let's take a look at the standings then after Q1 of ARX2. Top of the table, Fraser McConnell wins Q1 like he did yesterday, but JR Hildebrandy's right up there with him. Then it's Keys and Karam, who was so close together. And Gray Ledbetter getting a P6 today ahead of Brad DeBerti. So DeBerti, not a great start to the day. Better start for Ledbetter, but those top 5, my goodness me, they are super close together on pace. You're going to see the top 4 together in race 2 of Q2, which will be coming up shortly. So there we can see our supercars getting ready now. 600 horsepower, all-wheel drive, about twice the power of the ARX2 cars. And Bucky, these guys yesterday were probably not as sensible as the ARX2 drivers were in turn 1, you know.
Not at all. They weren't giving each other room at a bit, not even slightly room.
Why?
And
you know,
I think it's just first race, maybe.
Yeah,
first
is it
race?
trying to put a marker down? You know what I mean? Is it like this is what you're going to get this season? Because you can get not a reputation, but you know the way some drivers are feared. Like, you know, Schumacher was always quite feared, and you know some of the stuff Schumacher did was borderline, wasn't it? But if Schumacher was behind you, you knew he was going to go for it. And you have drivers like that in different motorsports, and I think you kind of want to be the guy that when you're in the mirror, they go, oh no. It's Bucky.
Yeah, you know Bucky's going to try to go up on the inside on that little hole that's there. Or you like Tanner. Tanner, if I know for a fact that Tanner, if he sees a hole and he's 3 cars away, he's going to late brake to that hole.
Yeah. So you want that, don't you? You want the fear in the other drivers of what you're going to do. So it's kind of laying down a marker, but there's a point at which you're damaging your own weekend as well. Like, I didn't feel the balance was quite right yesterday necessarily.
Yeah, I definitely think the planets did not align correctly, and everyone was kind of just going for their own, and I don't think they established anything except for the fact they put their crew to work all night.
Yeah. Scott Speed kind of got collected, didn't he? He was, as he said, he was into turn 1 first, but that wasn't always enough. But I think as well, if you looked at the replays, I don't know, I felt it was pretty difficult yesterday to lay blame on that incident. You know, there was contact, wasn't there, between 3 cars on the run up to turn 1.
I couldn't lay blame on anyone.
You've got the thing is as well, you've got
I tried.
Yeah, I mean,
tried to find it, but I couldn't.
No, we looked. Bigham pulling up to the grid. Scott Speed and Patrick Sandell. So Speed and Sandell were both DNFs in turn 1 yesterday in Q2. They've been out for their 4 practice laps today. If you're wondering about the difference between the Subarus, you can see it quite clearly here. Scott Speed has it's either blue or black mirrors, I can't remember, but Sandell
black.
Has yellow, yeah. So it's Speed and Atkinson are the ones which are hard to tell apart because the blue and the black from a distance is pretty similar. But Sandell, I say, has got the yellow wing plates and the yellow mirrors. Right, let's take a look at the grid then for Q3 Race 1 ARX. Cabot Bigham on the inside, Scott Speed next to him, and Patrick Sandell. Speed is second, but look, Sandell is down in 7th. Both those Subarus had a DNF yesterday, then he better today. Here we go, supercar time. Looking forward to this. I wonder if people have screwed their heads on a bit straighter for today's action compared to yesterday. So we did see a fair bit of carnage in turn 1. Are people going to be looking to lay down that marker?
Look at the guy in the background. Do you see him?
Go on.
It's Tanner Faust.
Tanner Faust.
He's watching this one.
He is indeed. There he is standing in the gravel trap. Having a little look at the start lights. That's your top qualifier at the moment overnight. Faust yesterday with a P3 and a P1. He won Q2. Of course, he won it.
The wind is picking up. I see some clouds coming in.
If it rains, it's going to be very interesting indeed.
I do see rain.
Eyes up towards the start lights. Here we go.
This is going to be good.
Oh, great start. Scott Speed's got a fantastic start. He shuts the door on Bigham immediately. Bigham and Sandell. Sandell coming round the outside. Going to try and be inside for turn 2. Cabot Bigham's going to get on the handbrake and try and undercut him on the exit, but he's out in the loose stuff and drops back. Sandell is underneath the rear wing of his teammate Scott Speed. And it is Speed who leads Bucky on that one. Great start.
Yeah, great start by Speed. He's going to keep it tight here. He's got his teammate behind him. Unless he makes a big mistake, I think he's got a clean run.
Bigham's chosen to joker on lap 1, so he's trying to get himself a bit of space. All the drivers yesterday were saying about how hard it is to drive in the dust.
It is intense to drive in the dust. You can't see anything. You're looking out every window you can, and you're just trying to get a gauge.
Speed, Sandell. Sandell right out onto the grass with the rear left. Into the right-hander at the bottom of the hill. Speed runs the car quite deep through there. Maybe getting a feel for track conditions this morning. Sandell's super tight in on the bales. Subaru does look good this year, doesn't it? It just looks,
great.
It looks more flickable. It looks more nimble.
They're like 40 mil, I think, lower.
Crazy ride height. We saw one of them earlier clatter over a curb, and the curb was like, it's not even a high curb. Sandell goes joker, so watch for Sandell versus Bigham. He's close in on the wall on the inside. Cabot Bigham with the VW Beetle coming around for the merge, but Sandell is going to get him. So Sandell tidily into place, and now it's up to Speed spotters whether he stays out or comes in. You can see Speed with the black mirrors and the black rear wing. But yeah, look how low it is. Speed's car super low.
Yeah, they've been working a lot on the downforce as well. They got a new rear wing on it and very lightweight panels. I picked up the front bumper clip yesterday, and it was lighter than the clip on the RX3 Sierra car.
And it's a lot bigger. It is a lot bigger. But Bucky, that's important, isn't it? Because the Subaru does have big overhangs, so that's the sort of area these factory-back teams are going to focus on, isn't it?
Yeah, they're focused on centering the weight and losing the weight. And they spent a lot of time on the motor package.
So Speed has gone joker around the outside. He's going to hope to come in front of his teammate Sandell. He does, clearly in front. So now he's going to get after the timesheet. He's got another lap to go. Tanner Faust's winning time yesterday was a 3:30.6. Scott Speed's was a 3:29.5. So anything around the 3:30 mark is showing us that the track pace is similar to yesterday. And then, of course, we've got 4 more cars to come in the next one. So Speed, Sandell and Bigham have all been pretty sensible in this. What are you thinking on the lap times, Bucky? Consistent?
You know, the lap times are a little bit slower than they were in first practice. So I'm thinking the dust and the loose surface is having a little bit of effect on the times.
Yeah, we saw people dip into the 49s, didn't we, for the first time this weekend?
First time.
Speed on the brakes up into the hairpin at the top of the track. Over the jump, it's just a little hop here, not too much for these supercars to take.
Look how low the front end's just hitting those divots.
Those bumpers are going to be very definitely a consumable item, I think.
Yeah, I think parts are going to be flying at Subaru, giving them away. They always do that at the end of the race. It's
Head
awesome.
down there at the end of the weekend. Scott Speed takes this one. The time is 3:27.9. Interesting, so a lot quicker than yesterday. Yesterday, the fastest session win was Speed with a 3:29.5. So he's gone 1.6 seconds quicker than his Q1 time from yesterday, and about 2.6 quicker than Faust went to win Q2. So Speed has been very quick in this one. Is that going to be enough, or will they be able to go equally as fast in the next race? Because, of course, track conditions going to be pretty similar for them. Might be drying out a little bit. Speed takes it. Sandell and Bigham P2 and P3. Off the line. Look at this start by Speed and Sandell. To be fair, the Subaru is starting well. They've done a lot of work on that over the winter.
You would not see that last year where the Subarus are getting the jump on the Beetle.
No, exactly. Yeah,
Wow.
and Tanner actually said yesterday, I asked him in the press conference, were you happy with the starts? He said, no, absolutely not. So, you know, that's not necessarily the car, is it? It can be the settings that the drivers have chosen to.
It can be. So I would imagine that these guys are making a lot of changes right now. The track is kind of getting more slick and falling away, but you wouldn't know that by judging by Speed's times.
No, absolutely fantastic time from Speed. That is his benchmark for everyone else to beat. Ah, there we go.
Lovely beagle there.
Our new feature, what has the director found in the crowd? Yesterday we've got a dog theme going on. This is going to continue through the season, I hope. Yeah, good one. Okay, James is with Scott Speed now. Let's find out how Scott felt about that. Fastest time of the weekend.
Scott, you had your ups and downs yesterday, but this is a great way to start off the day for day 2, huh?
Yeah, what can I say? This super's fast off the launch, man. It gives that's a big help. Obviously, having a clean run is important. Hopefully that holds up. It was a pretty solid run. So, in any case, we'll get some more points and keep going.
You make any setup changes from last night? I know you guys had to repair the car, obviously, from that contact.
Look, the boys were there till midnight, so we didn't do anything to the car. She's fast as is, so we just hopefully keep it going.
Thanks, Scott. Good luck the rest of the day.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage on Scott Speed's car yesterday. He got sandwiched between Faust and a tyre bale in the first corner after sort of a 3-car contact on the run up to turn 1. So tore a wheel off both sides of the rear. They've repaired that car. Looks like they've done a fantastic job because Scott Speed has just set an incredible time. Here we go then, Q3, race 2. Have a look at the grid for this one. On the inside, the overnight TQ man, Tanner Faust. Next to him, Chris Atkinson. Then it's Travis Pecoy and Steve Arpin. Faust will want to hold on to that P1 if he can. We've just seen a brilliant time by Scott Speed. Fastest time of the weekend. Faust will probably know that. So are the track conditions faster, or is Speed, the champion, just doing a brilliant job? We're going to find out. Here we go. Oh, it's an even start. Pecoy, though, looks to have got away really well in slot number 3, but Fausti's on the inside. Atkinson locked up, it looked like, in the way into turn 1. Arpin's going to try and go around the outside of Faust now. A little bit of contact in the side there. Atkinson's going to run wide. Arpin's on the limiter, trying to hold on to the car. Has to dodge the bales. Pulls back in, almost hits his teammate Pecoy.
He hits his teammate, sends him sideways, tucks him behind him, and the race is on. Let's see if Arpin's going to get by. There he goes. He doesn't take the Joker. Pecoy enters the Joker.
I think he was going to go Joker there, wasn't it?
I think he was, for sure.
Standard lap, but I have to say the Fiesta's looking fast. Arpin was unlucky again. If you get hung out in turn 1 or turn 2, you just go backwards, Bucket.
Yeah, he had to miss the tires, drove around the tires, and
Faust with a mistake there. Almost dropped it on the brakes, ran wide in that dirt section, which is where we saw Arpin make the mistake. Yes, and Atkinson's up underneath him.
I am confused once again, like you said, with the blue and the black. I can't tell who's who, but I know Atco is in the race.
Yeah, the 3 Subarus looking very, very similar indeed. Atco around the right and then the left. This is, I say, where we saw Arpin get a great start, but just on the outside couldn't do it. And you can see where he went across the grass to avoid the bale. So Faust leading from Atkinson. Is Atkinson going to go Joker this time? He looks quick.
I would imagine he will. But
he doesn't. He's gone with him. You can see the way Faust backs the car in just a little bit more sideways. But yesterday, remember Q2, Faust was really throwing the car around, and the car looks better today.
Atco got a really good run out of that turn. Let's see what he can do here.
So this is the section just a few moments ago where it looked like Faust ran a bit deep. You can see that cut is starting to develop again on the inside next to the bale.
Atco smells blood here. I think Atco smells blood.
Dropping a wheel off onto the grass, isn't he? The 2 Lowenbro Fiestas are running. Liner Stern in the background, Pecoy leading his teammate and team boss Steve Arpin. I think Faust has just edged a little bit ahead of Atkinson on the run down the hill.
He did get a few car lengths on him there on that little tarmac section.
Around the long right and then the long left. I love this next corner here. You can just see how hard they're leaning on the car, and then you've got to get it straight. And okay, Atco goes Joker, so Atco uses all the curb on the left. Going to come round. I don't think he's in any danger from the 2 Lowenbro cars behind. But look at that.
That was beautiful.
Yes, bang on the apex, Bucky, wasn't he?
That was beautiful. The car did not slide out at all. The rear didn't come out. It was nice and tucked in. Great job, Atco.
Pecoy and Arpin chucking the car around in the dirt at the back, but this one is about Atkinson versus Faust. Faust is waiting until the last lap to Joker in the Beetle, and it's going to need to be a good Joker because Atkinson was absolutely on the money.
He is on it right now. There is a bit of a gap. I think Faust is going to be safe as long as he gets through here nice and clean, which he does.
Patient on the throttle there on the transfer to the tarmac. Here we go then, Tanner Faust. He was the vice champion last year, comes around the long left. Look at that beautiful line again, same as Atkinson. Keeps it in tight on the right side. Back to the big glint now. He's got to get it super close in to this tyre bale on the inside. On the money, Tanner Faust out in front of Atkinson. Now, this is about chasing down that time of Scott Speed. 3:27.9 was the time that Speed set. Can Faust respond in the Beetle? This is going to be close. He's got the run down the hill, super fast straight here. Feeding it gears, then on the brakes, down into the right-hander. Watch those clocks, it's going to be tight. Faust is going to have to get on the gas. He might. It's going to be really, really close round the right-hander.
No.
Faust 328.5. He doesn't, but there's only 0.6 of a second in it. This is on. We wanted to see a fight, didn't we, between the teammates last year, Faust and Speed, and it is super close between them. Faust made that one mistake, I think, on the dirt section, Bucky. I might be wrong. We came to the shot quite late, but he looked deep and sideways. And was that enough to make the difference between winning this session or not? But it is Speed who takes Q3. Tanner Faust then wins this one, 328.5, Atkinson, Peacoy and Arpin. But as you can see, when they slot in, Scott Speed is fastest in the Subaru, so Tanner Faust was the overnight TQ. Speed is chasing him down. So this was the start. Great start by Peacoy, but watch for Arpin here, because Arpin makes all the moves, Bucky.
Yeah, he had his eye on the outside, over, and he did a really good job here, but he just got pushed out a little bit there, and from there it was just tough. Yeah, just defensive mood, came in on his teammate.
It all went wrong, didn't it? And it looked so right. He went from P4 to P2 in turn one. And then
did it all right.
Back from P2 to P4. There's nothing more you can do, but when that dirt is on the outside, you've got to win the start here, haven't you? You've absolutely got to win the start. This was that great joker from Atkinson.
Beautiful joker by Atco. He tucks it on the inside there, exits a joker perfectly.
I think it was the previous lap where Faust had just edged him because he was super close to him on lap 2, and that was when we didn't see, I'll say, I think there was a tiny mistake from Faust on lap 2, and we'll have to go and ask him after this session. But great drive by Tanner Faust. He manages to win the race, but he doesn't quite win the session. Scott Speed is just 0.6 of a second faster.
Tanner, obviously, there you go. Obviously, you finished yesterday on a high. You came here today. You got another win in your pocket. That was some joker strategy back there with Atco. You guys were battling, but more strategy-wise than wheel to wheel. How did that feel?
It's like a video game, right? Because you're kind of racing the drone car. So when the car behind you goes in the joker, even though they're a couple seconds behind you, you know they're actually still really close, and you have to take the joker eventually. So once the car behind you goes in the joker, you just have to put down a clean lap. Honestly, the grip was a lot different here than it was in the warm-up this morning, and I blew the chicane after the jump. That was enough of a difference, I think, for Scott to take the overall qualifying for this one by half a second. So it's super close, which is super fun. Wish I would have been on the other end of that half second, but it's awesome and hopefully makes for a good show.
Great. Thanks, Tanner. Have a great rest of the day. Good luck.
Super close in terms of the times there, like could not have been closer between Faust and Speed. So take a look at this. These are the standings after Q3. So that win look for Scott Speed. He took Q1 and he takes Q3. He's just 1 point behind. Look at the total points down the middle of your screen there. Whoever has the most points gets the TQ spot, the top qualifier spot, the first one of the year. And it could not be closer between the ex-teammates, Faust and Speed. Faust for Volkswagen, Speed for Subaru. Then it's Atkinson, Arpin, Peacoy, Bigham and Sandell. So Bucky, that tiny mistake from Tanner has got to be the difference, hasn't it? He's like, I want to be on the other end of that 0.6 of a second.
I'm 100% sure that mistake cost him.
Yeah, man.
My mental clock just ticked off at least 0.6.
Yeah, you just know, don't you? I mean, and it's interesting as well what he was saying about the Joker. He's like racing the drone. It's actually a really good, the
such a
ghost car
good
in a
analogy,
computer game.
wasn't it?
Yeah, you know that he's gone, but you know he's still there, and so the pressure's on. And you often see people flake, don't you, when they've got to nail the Joker lap or they've got to nail the one before it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that it was in his head. But Tanner's the man. He's the man.
Okay, well, it's Tanner Faust versus Scott Speed for the first top qualifier spot of ARX 2019. The final qualifying session for ARX will be coming up in around half an hour's time. Don't forget, of course, we're going to have Q2 and Q3 for ARX2 as well, and then semi-finals and finals later on today. So we will see you very shortly.